Avdeeva here, 7:30 p.m. in Central Europe, and it's time for our weekly stream. I hope that you are all doing well and enjoying, I hope, nice weather outside. So I am back from Leipzig, where I was so happy to perform last week with the MDR Symphony Orchestra, Beethoven Third Concerto under Robert Trevino, which was a great joy to share, to make music with other people again. It's of course still a very special situation because of course also the distances between the musicians are quite big, and it's not the same feeling, which we normally have when we make music together. But anyway, it was a great moment to share the place and make music with other musicians. And of course I was very moved, and it was a great inspiring moment to visit the St. Thomas Church in Leipzig to see the place where Bach was working for. He was serving he was literally living and working in this church for 27 years, from 1723 until his death in 1750. And there is also, of course, just to see the inside of the church, the outside, of course, but also his tomb is there, and the church holds his remains. It's a very modest tomb which is right there, and of course it was great to visit it, to get this very special inspiration. So that was my trip to Leipzig, which I enjoyed very much. Now I say hello to all of you. Hi Martin, Jeff, Jamin, Keith, hello Antonio, hello Mazurka, Annelies, Alexis, Topol, and Royal Purple, Hazel, Hubert, Sabine, Stefano, Makiko. So it's thank you for tuning in for the radio broadcast last week. And I'm also happy to be back home, to be honest. So now I'm here again, and tonight in this video we will be talking about the B flat major Prelude and Fugue from Book 2, as well as I will be very happy to share some thoughts on the personality and also the music of an amazing person, amazing musician, and also just universal personality of Ignacy Jan Paderewski. So now we are already moving to the B flat key, which is again quite, it's a rare, again quite rare key still. Although the B flat minor will be even more seldom used, but the B flat major set is pair is very beautiful. It's very pastoral like, and it also somehow, probably, I don't know, maybe Bach already really prepares this, this pinnacle of this pair, B flat major and B flat minor. Well, the B flat major is also, you see it also in the size. It is very quite big. So we have here again a kind of sonata form. We have one, so it's divided again in two. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. In two parts with repeats. Yeah, and it is a very has this time signature 8/12/16, which could actually mean again a kind of jig character, jig movement, but it's definitely not, because it's very pastoral like. Also it's much more lyrical in a way. So it's this is how the beginning is. So you see we have those beautiful lines. Sorry, which are voices are taking over this melodic line, and still we have, of course, this. We have this, this rhythm, which actually is assuming more kind of giving us this feeling of dancing character, but of course it's not, doesn't have this energetic. Doesn't have this energetic mood like the real jig would be. And of course also now I see also in the second book, basically in my personal feeling, I see that also Bach here, his spirit is, it feels like he would be also not only using one genre for the prelude or the fugue, despite the fact that preludes in the second book are of course not just warming up pieces like maybe in some pairs of from the book 2, because the preludes like this, they are so huge in the also in the duration, but also there is such an intensity there and such a great music already, and with very important musical material and message. So this, I somehow really coming to the end of the second book, I realize also this different approach in my feeling, or how Bach also developed his view on the prelude, also in the combination of the prelude and fugue in the second book. Then we have wonderful sequences. Where both hands are having those 16th triplet lines. It is quite indeed also intense in the harmonic. There is a beautiful transition to the kind of coda, and this is also quite kind of the harmonies here. Really, look, they're so special. Perpetuum mobile, so wonderful, amazingly beautiful prelude in B flat major. And the fugue is in 3 parts, and here it's actually interesting that somehow the harmonical changes are not appear as often as they did in the prelude, but the mood of this fugue is again kind of relaxed, very joyful. In a kind of very quiet but joyful mood. So the fugue is in 3 parts, and this is the subject. Look, Bach also here gives us this clear indication for the articulation, that which is, of course, also gives this kind of special, not hurrying, not stressful character. So, and here, as I said, the harmonical changes do not appear as often. So sometimes it's one harmony for the entire bar. Except of course those melodic lines, and there is no drama here in this fugue. It's also very beautiful in my opinion. So I'm very happy to perform for you the B flat major Prelude and Fugue from Book 2 by Johann Sebastian Bach. Major, Prelude and Fugue from the second book of Well-Tempered Clavier by Johann Sebastian Bach. Somehow, yeah, very unique mood in this pair, kind of careless, but of course with a great intensity in the prelude. And it's indeed for me very exciting to see that Bach here, sometimes in the second book, indeed somehow the, let's say, also in the length, but also in the intensity, sometimes the prelude gets a different dimension. Sometimes it's even bigger and more intensive than the fugue, and of course, but there are no like some kind of similar pair, in my opinion, by then. Jeff, I think the longest one will be the B flat minor, but of course, because of the repeats, here it is a kind of, it has a certain size, yes. But I think that again, that's exactly the point. And then if he writes the repeat here and then composes such a rather short fugue, so that there must be a reason why he wanted to do it like that. And of course, yeah, this is again, there are no even somehow similar pairs, and this makes me still so excited after all the sets of we have done. It's every time a discovery. It's really every time something new. Hello, Pedro, to Portugal, and now I am very excited to talk to you and to share some thoughts on the Ignacy Jan Paderewski, musician, politician, person, composer. I'm very happy that so many of you also enjoy so much the recordings of Ignacy Jan Paderewski, who was a Polish pianist, politician, a great philanthrope, if I can say it this way. So my fascination for Ignacy Jan Paderewski began somehow still in my student years, when I by accident I had a opportunity to have an LP with him performing different pieces. And I remember the first piece, which I was so impressed by his interpretation of the second Moment Musical by Schubert, A flat major, because that sound, but also I think that was, by the way, Sabina was commenting, that is amazing freedom which he was somehow using when he played piano. And this was in Schubert. For me, absolutely, I was so astonished by that. I was so moved because this quality of sound, this light in the sound, this at the same time this clear phrasing and amazing freedom within all of this. I don't remember how old I am, but as I'm saying, I was still in my student years, and I wanted, of course, to immediately learn more. Who was Paderewski? What he did? What else he played? And somehow, indeed, I learned who Paderewski was, and of course, besides his him being a musician, just what a unique personality he used to be. And of course, well, he is a student of Theodor Lishetitsky, and I mean, probably this is something, again, about this, when I heard this sound, I mean, Lishetitsky was also a teacher of, just to name my favorites, let's say, is Beno Moiseyevich and Arthur Schnabel, and of course there is this certain uniqueness in their sound, and I think maybe this was also, this is, I mean, you feel that they all those brilliant pianists were coming from the same family in a way. And I still think that also now it is possible to recognize by the sound of the pianists, modern pianists as well, who they studied with. And this is, for me, also indeed very, very moving when I hear something, when I hear a recording, someone playing piano, and I can immediately recognize, for instance, that the pianist has been in touch with or studied or enjoyed the courses with Dmitry Bashkirov, for instance, because there are some certain qualities in the sound, in the touch, which, of course, in a way, yeah, those great teachers, they give them, they pass them on to their pupil, and then it's, in a way, yeah, there's a big, big family. So, however, coming back again to Paderewski, yeah, I was a little bit researching who Paderewski was, and I was really so inspired by his personality, because he apparently, I mean, I will not now say so many I will not read his biography, but he was born in Poland. Well, by then it was not Poland, but however, in a village in 1860, which by then was a part of Russian Empire, and then he was very interested in playing piano. Well, however, his success as a pianist was, in the beginning, it was not so easy apparently for him, but after he had an amazing debuts in Paris and in London, and then he went to tour in States, his personality was so captivating for the audiences. So people were that was a legion. That was, when he was coming, the crowd was going absolutely crazy. And of course, maybe it's also, I don't know, thanks to his also kind of charismatic appearance. I mean, also on, of course, first of all on stage, and then he very early started to support different organizations, different people, without really knowing them. So he had a great, great heart, and was supporting musicians, was supporting Polish people. And of course, he was a great, great patriot, which you can also recognize in many, many of his compositions, because he also composed quite many pieces. And probably one of the most significant is his symphony in B minor with the name Polonia, of course, with a clear also symbol of his love to his country. And of course, because he was so popular and he has such a great mind, he also indeed, and he was really fighting for the idea of the Polish state, the state of Poland. And so he was indeed the prime minister in 1919, and also the foreign minister or minister of foreign affairs, who signed also the Treaty of Versailles, because he was before that he was in States, and he was also very much he was very encouraging also the American president to support the idea of the independent Poland. And yeah, I was so proud to be a part of the Paderewski celebration in Poland in 2018. Yes, it was a special, yeah, in a way, a special occasion, of course. It's the anniversary of Polish independence, and I was invited to perform Paderewski's Polish fantasy, or a fantasy on the Polish themes, in Warsaw with the Warsaw Philharmonic. I was very proud to be a part of this celebration, of this special event. So, however, as you probably even notice now, because when I'm thinking about Paderewski, I'm so excited. So I was very much interested in his life, in his recordings, and there are indeed so many of different composers. Of course, his interpretations of Chopin are wonderful. What is really interesting for me personally, besides the sound, his usage of pedal, because there are some recordings which have been made around 1911, 12, so before the First World War, because after that he had also a longer break, and then after his break, when he started playing again. But I mean, this quality also in the pedaling, in the pedal which he uses, this is absolutely made. It's always transparent. It is never a mess of sound. Doesn't matter how virtuosic. I mean, if he was playing virtuosic pieces like Campanella or some Liszt pieces, Schumann. The Fantasiestücke, the two Fantasiestücke which exist are so moving. But I think first, which really, which I fell in love with in his interpretations, was indeed this sound. The sound and the rubato, this free playing, which was this phrasing, which was so natural but so captivating. I don't know. So finally, I have also received a present with I think also almost all existing recordings of Paderewski, and then I decided to make my graduate work on about him, and of course also I did play, or I did have a look on some of his piano compositions, and he composed quite many, and of course they are many of them are very much connected with Poland. Sometimes it's in a genre like he composed also a couple of mazurkas. Well, probably his most Sabine, I will be back with the answer for that. With Cracovienne, or I mean, you hear clear this connection with Poland, and his most popular work would be the Minuet in G major. But I think that also his other piano pieces, like the two pieces I would like to share with you, now they have such a pride. They have a really amazing character. This very noble and very just being proud to be a Pole. I think that's something what what describes his music as well. Sabine, I think that also it's a question of the pianos he was using, because of course on especially on the instruments of the beginning of the century, still the pianos were built in a different way, and I assume that there was because the overtones of the recordings, I mean, of those recordings from 1911 and 12, they sound still very. Also, the action sounds different comparing to the, let's say, later pianos. So it is. I think that he indeed also uses it. I think he uses it differently. So it's not. Because he's never using it to connect the notes for legato. Of course, this pedaling of him makes the sound much more transparent, because he literally connects the notes only with fingers. So he doesn't use the pedal for legato, and that's why the sound is so. The melodies seem to be amazingly long, and the phrasing, the shape of the phrase is always so ideal, so natural, because I have a feeling, that's how I feel it, that because I physically somehow can follow what I assume he is doing, and it indeed depends on I think it's this amazing ability of treatment of the piano, that the sound, he uses the pedal indeed only as an effect, a special effect, and not for the phrasing or for the articulation. So I came across it kind of couple of years ago, some piano pieces by Paderewski, and as I said, the Polish fantasy, which I have learned also for that celebration of independence of Poland. It also has This very, of course, some elements of the folk songs and folk dances, but also clear connection with the Polish dances. And so the first piece I would like to share with you by Paderewski is his Mazurek, so Mazurka Opus 9 in B flat major. It is, I feel that he has a quite individual style in his, also in his mazurkas and nocturnes, of course, despite the fact that it reminds us somehow, or let's say, Chopin must have been his inspiration. But however, I think that from what I hear from what I know from his works, he combines different elements in his. I mean, you look what I mean. The really different elements of also the melodic development. So the beginning is con gratia, so it's already this very elegant manner, and this is let's say the main theme of this mazurka, if I can say it this way. This melodic kind of beginning, and then immediately this completely different, very energetic chords, which are somehow could be also seen as a chorale. So this is these are elements, these chords. He's also very often uses great chords. So I think that's how I for let's say describe it for myself. This is indeed this connection with the chorale. Then after this first section, we have suddenly G flat major with this beautiful, also very Polish element. So it's there are so many different types of characters here. Then later on. So it may be also a kind of improvising. It feels like he would be improvising this music. And also this is actually about the Polish way. This is the same thing there, that it's so rhapsodic. It has it just, he would be really just sitting in front of the piano and making kind of improvisation. This is really how I also feel like about his music. So please enjoy the B flat major Mazurek Opus 9 by Ignacy Jan Paderewski. this is, I don't know, somehow it feels like I would travel to Poland when I hear or when I play this this music. Of course, yeah, he that's so amazing that this spirit which he shares and this great love to his country, to his roots, to his origins. I mean, also in the melodic elements, wonderful. And you know, as I've already mentioned it, how he supported and how important it was for him to support different people. And by the way, also of course for the culture, for me that was actually, I didn't know that the, for instance, Chopin monument in Zhelezovo Vole, the birthplace of Chopin, so that the monument was donated, or let's say that he donated, Paderewski donated money for this monument, as well as for Franz Liszt monument in Weimar, or Beethoven monument in Bonn, or also Debussy. So he was, and he had no somehow he was so open for many I mean traditions, many cultures, and well, some kind of really open-minded personality with a great humanity, with great love to people. So another piece, another composition I would like to share with you is the Cracovienne fantastique. Well, Cracovienne is Polish Cracowiak dance, quite rather syncopated, quick dance from Krakow region, and in French, of course, Cracovian. And I love this piece. It's quite charming, and sometimes I do sometimes perform it also on stage, sometimes as an encore, because it's I don't know, it just gives me good mood. So Cracovienne fantastique from Opus 14, Humoresques de concert by Ignacy Jan Paderewski. fantastique by Ignacy Jan Paderewski. So please let me know your thoughts on some Paderewski recordings, if you will discover some new ones, or just what your thoughts on his performance is, because somehow, yeah, for me he remains one of my idols. I mean, in a pianistic sense, because yeah, this quality of music making, this passion, but also this honesty, this pureness in the phrasing, in the sound, is for me just unique. So that's why I'm so happy to have discovered Paderewski for myself, and yeah, also have a look on his music if you like, because it's I don't know, makes good mood in a way. So that was yeah, that's just a few thoughts on Ignacy Jan Paderewski, and I thank you so much for joining tonight. So have a good week, subscribe my channel, and we see each other next Thursday, and we move on to the B flat minor prelude and fugue from the second book. So take care and see you next Thursday. Bye bye.